So let's assume you've watched a few of my videos. Perhaps you're a young man just starting your style journey, or you're a man in transition. You've just got out of the military, you just got a divorce. You have something going on in your life that you're starting over when it comes to style. Guys, the goal of this video is to help you avoid the money mistakes and the time mistakes that come with improving and transitioning and taking your style to the next level. In this video, gentlemen, I'm going to talk about the 10 mistakes that young men make, but you don't have to be young to make these mistakes. You could be 40, you could be 60, you could be starting over with your style. The goal of this information is to arm you with the tools to avoid making those big money mistakes, those mistakes that you put all this time and effort into something and it doesn't get you anything. Now, this was written by Nathan over at Iron and Tweed. He's got a great blog. Definitely go check it out. I'll link to it down in the description, but I met him over at StyleCon. I'm going to link to that right over here because that is one of the best events out there, gentlemen, to meet me in person, to meet hundreds of men who are looking to step up their level of style and really are just open to helping you take it to the next level. Mistake number one that young men make as they're looking to improve their style is they confuse uncomfortable with unfamiliar. When you first start to dress sharp, you're just not used to it. You're wondering, are people going to think of me differently? You're self-conscious about it. You're not sure actually what to button, how to put things together, if this or that matches. But within a month after you started receiving compliments, all of a sudden you start to realize, wow, this stuff really works. And then all of a sudden, when you don't dress sharp, it feels odd. Guys, that is the point I want to make, is that don't confuse being uncomfortable in clothing, which is simply being unfamiliar with the benefits of dressing sharp. The second mistake that young men make is that they oftentimes over or underdress. So if you're starting to get into style, you're starting to dress better, maybe you really like wearing sports jackets, but you still need to pay attention to the environment. Because if you're going to go to an event in which most people are going to be casually dressed, understand that you can still have a high level of style, but you don't have to wear a suit jacket. You don't have to wear a sports jacket. You can actually wear casual clothing, but just make sure it fits your body. A lot of men, they equate dressing sharp with wearing a suit. Gentlemen, understand that every environment, doesn't matter if it's casual, doesn't matter if it's a black tie. It's the nuances, how the clothing fits on your body. Is it going to be the right color, the right style that actually complements your build and proportions? Mistake number three is buying outfits and not building an interchangeable wardrobe. So this can be a little bit confusing, and let me explain. You oftentimes will go out there and you'll try to put together a great outfit. But what you want to be doing as you're building this up is go with classic pieces. The reason classic pieces are classic is they have stood up to the test of time. You don't want to put together I say outlandish, but something maybe that's a little bit too attention grabbing. The problem with that clothing is it's not going to necessarily match with other things in your wardrobe. So you may have three outfits, but nothing can be interchanged between them. When if you had three interchangeable outfits that were a part of a wardrobe, you would actually, instead of having three outfits, you could possibly have 9. Make sense? Mistake number 4 is falling into a herd mentality, aka fashion trends. Some fashion trends are going to be fine, but you want to be careful of the ones that don't suit you and are not going to be timeless. So with suits, a lot of them out there, they are being made very thin, very skinny for, it's the whole skinny jean thing. I'm not going to say that that's not going to work for you, but I am saying be aware. Is this something that I can purchase, especially if it's a big purchase and is going to basically stand up to the test of time? Mistake number 5, buying too much at once. So a lot of young guys, they go over, I'm going to go custom, and they go and they buy 3 custom suits and they get a great deal. They're excited about it. But the problem is that their style hasn't settled down. They haven't truly discovered how they want to dress and what they want to put together. And so a couple of years later, they look at those 3 suits and they're like, I really don't like to wear them. I've changed actually how I like my clothing to fit. So the key here, gentlemen, is when you're young, build your wardrobe piece by piece. Mistake number 6 is going with dark colored dress shirts. Dress shirts in general should stick with whites or light blues. That should be your base for your first 5 dress shirts. I know, sounds incredibly boring, but it's going to be interchangeable, and those are classic colors that work with pretty much any suit color. When you start going with those darker colors, understand dark colored shirts are not dress shirts by definition, and they're going to be harder to match. They're going to be more casual, and you're just not going to get as many miles out of them. Random warning, gentlemen, no square-toed shoes. I'm not even going to number this one. Just stay away from square-toed shoes. Unless you have square-shaped feet, then I guess it's okay. But if you don't have square-shaped feet, avoid the square-toed shoe. Style mistake number 7 is wearing your dress shirt untucked. I know a lot of you younger men, you like to wear your shirts untucked, and that's cool for t-shirts and for button-down shirts, which are designed to be worn untucked. And if you don't know that rule, I'm going to link you over to a video in which I talk about how to tuck in your shirt and a little bit of the rules about it. But the point is, if it's a dress shirt, you want to have it tucked in. Style mistake number 8 is mixing formal with informal. So these are polar opposites and they're diametrically opposed. You don't really want to try to mix these two. I know some guys, especially young men, they want to experiment, have a little bit of fun, but these things were not meant to go together. Avoid mixing formal clothing with really casual clothing. It just doesn't work. Mistake number 9 is going overboard with the matching. So I see a lot of guys like to wear all black. You know, maybe try to bring in a bit of gray, but then it gets really crazy when they try to stick with a particular color. Maybe they wear all orange, they wear all yellow, all white. You know, it just gets, if you go a little bit overboard on the matching, guys, it just doesn't work. Finally, mistake number 10, gentlemen, is don't over-accessorize. A lot of young men, they get into hats, they maybe get into watches, they start to get into fragrance. And it starts off great. They're like, you know, I love this. They have confidence, they're wearing that fragrance. And then it gets a little bit overboard. They start to wear 10 sprays of that fragrance at one time. They start to have 3 watches on one arm and 5 watches on another. Guys, you don't need to go overboard here. Let those small accessories, let them stand out. Let them enjoy it, have fun, experiment, but don't go overboard. And if you feel that you're going overboard, you need some help, you need some guidance, go check out the free Facebook community I've created. This group, I can tell you, is really welcoming people. These guys are open to giving you a little bit of constructive criticism sometimes, but they're going to be friendly and they're going to be supportive. And that's what you need at this point. Gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Go check out the support article. Nate did a great job on that support article and support him over at Iron and Tweed. Gentlemen, that's all I've got. I'll see you in the next video.